A federal minimum wage hike to $15 per hour will lift nearly 1 million people out of poverty. Poverty and its effect on the economy has been a topic of debate for decades. An incredibly controversial topic in today's society is about the minimum wage in the United States. In many states, the minimum wage is $7.25 before tax. There are a number of reasons why this amount is far too low for people obtaining these wages. On the other hand, there are a great deal of counterarguments that must be considered. I will be persuading you to understand why the current minimum wage must be raised. The current wage is not a living wage, and an increase will boost the economy, but other people still disagree with a raise. The most important reason to increase the minimum wage is to make it a wage that all workers can live off of. As many people know, inflation has increased drastically over the past century. While prices have increased and the value of the dollar has decreased, the minimum wage has actually dropped. Nearly 10 years ago, the wage was almost $1.50 higher than it is today. This impacts minimum wage workers much more than other workers. For example, the rent in America has been gradually increasing over the decades, so it is nearly impossible for minimum wage workers to live alone and pay the required rent. The rent prices will continue to skyrocket, and if we don't increase the minimum wage, the homeless population could increase. The last factor, and possibly the most important, is that taxes take a significant amount of money out of each paycheck. In some states, the taxes take nearly 20% of total profits, which reduces the wage value even more. Clearly, there are a number of ways that low income affect the workers. Another huge reason to support a minimum wage increase is that it has great potential to boost the economy. Since the pandemic began, a number of entry-level or jobs paying minimum wage have been struggling to hire enough people. With the wage being so low, it is very unappealing for many people to apply for those jobs. If the wage is boosted to even $10 per hour, it would allow these companies to hire employees on a faster rate. This could potentially allow businesses to stay open and not go under during a difficult time. Another effect would be reducing the wage gap between the lower and middle class citizens. This will allow previously lower class members to use the money more and put it back into the economy. This would stimulate the economy in more ways than one. The raise would lead to a cycle of positive outcomes. Stimulating the economy by having more willing consumers and more people working for small and franchise businesses will obviously benefit the economy. It is clear that raising the minimum wage will positively impact all parties. This is a key reason that so many people support a raise in the near future. Of course, there are other people in the country who disagree with my points for various reasons. The main counter-argument is that if wages increase, companies will not be able to sustain the cost. Some people believe that if they have to spend that much money on wages, they will lose profits and possibly go out of business. Similarly, they think that these companies will lower the amount of people they hire to have less workers on payroll. If they can't sustain the cost, they may cut hours or availability, which wouldn't be great for anyone involved. I understand this counter-argument, but think that many businesses would be able to find a way to hire people and pay them a few extra dollars an hour. The increase would not be as dramatic as some people may think. Therefore, I don't think this counter-argument is valid enough to use in this argument. In conclusion, there are a number of pros and a few cons to this idea. In my opinion, the positives outweigh the negatives. Some people disagree. Although there is a disagreement, the wage must increase to be a living wage and boost the economy. We must do more as a society to make our senators and representatives take action. There are petitions and movements occurring around the country to boost this idea. If enough people fight for change, it is likely to happen. Therefore, increasing the minimum wage would make it a livable pay and boost the economy, but some people do disagree. I hope that my speech has given you some perspective and allowed you to really think about what you feel is right when it comes to living wages.